David Hartman, Dave's Disney here with John Medrow. A very different show where Dave's Disney is talking about everything Disney with you guys. You know why? Because we love you guys. John has been to Tokyo Disney Resort, and today talking about it right now. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Dave. Glad to be here.
So we're going to talk about, John has a few myths about Tokyo Disney Resort. Then he's going to give you tips of how to travel there. But all of you, welcome to the feed. It's a public feed tonight. It's not just the community. So wherever you're watching it, share it wherever you are, like it, and comment and give us a question. Have you been there? If you're not, what are your key questions of what you want to know? Because John has done it all. Right, John?
Yeah, sure. Done it all. Been there. It's great.
So, John, first off, we want to start with the myths. What are the myths of traveling to Tokyo? By the way, first off, let's clarify. Why is it called Tokyo Disney Resort?
Why is it called Tokyo Disney Resort? Well, simple answer for this one. It is in Tokyo. It is right on the bay inside Tokyo. And you're probably, probably wondering distance-wise. We'll go over all that in a second here. But, yeah, we'll start there. Unless you had something else in mind, Dave.
Well, no. Well, first off is because for many years, it was just Tokyo Disneyland. But then they opened another park, which I hear by most experts is the best theme park in the world.
I've heard that one before.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, yeah, guys, first of all, disclaimer, this is my absolute favorite Disney resort out of all the ones I've been to.
Thank you. Tell us.
Sure. So, cool. Tokyo Disney Resort, 2 parks, 39 lands, 14 major attractions, thousands of hotel rooms, you name it, it's there for you. Plus, they do have a downtown Disney district that's right off of one of the monorail stops there. So, yeah, we'll start with the myths. Like anybody who has traveled, you can assume, it takes a while to get there. So when it takes a while to get there, it's going to be an expensive trip getting over there. Guys, it's not as bad as you think. So, yeah, if you're going to go last minute, you're probably going to pay an arm and a leg, $1,900, $2,000 for an airplane ticket to get over there. We found that if you're looking at a specific time frame, I highly suggest looking a few months extra, because there are times I've seen the prices as low as $500, maybe just under $500 round trip directly from LA. So you're really going to have to, first of all, I definitely recommend going from the West Coast. You can fly from New York, fly from East Coast, anywhere, but just to break up the trip to make it, a little bit more manageable for you. It's about 11 hours getting over there directly from LA. So if you break it up from there, it's a very manageable trip. Plus, segueing into my next one, a lot of things what I hear about Tokyo Disneyland Resort is that people think it's really far. This one actually, it's on the bay, so it's on a certain side of Tokyo, but it's actually not that far. So there are shuttles. First of all, there's two ways to get there, 2 major ways to get there. If you fly into Haneda, which is the airport directly in Tokyo, there are similar to what they have is Magical Express. They just have shuttles going to and from the airport. But then you can also take the Japanese rail system. So we know it as the JR line. And then from the Tokyo station, it is the next one over in Maihama Station to get to Tokyo Disneyland. And there's signs virtually everywhere. So it's not that bad to get there. Obviously, there's 2 major airports I would recommend, either flying into Haneda or flying into Narita. Narita is about 80 kilometers away from Tokyo, but it's still very manageable to get there, and you can take the JR line to get there.
Okay, hold on. Guys, back up. So, because travelers get confused.
Sure.
There's 2 airports.
2.
So what is the closest, and does it matter? What you just told me said,
sure.
There's 2 airports. But if I'm searching on Kayak and I'm a neophyte, what is the best rate? What is the best airport? And does it matter?
Convenience-wise, you want to fly into Haneda. Price-wise, you're probably going to find a little bit more of an option going into Narita.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So, and both offer, it's very, very accessible getting there, like I said. So flying into both of those airports, they do have basically a foreign tourist train pass that you can purchase. So if you plan to go outside of Tokyo Disney, if you want to explore Tokyo a little bit, maybe the surrounding area, highly recommend looking into this pass if it's available. It is not always available. So that's the one key thing to make sure when you get there. You can either research this before or after, but you have to get it at a JR station, like official JR station when you get to that airport.
Now, is that critical to enjoy the stay at
It is definitely not. You can definitely buy a train pass a la carte and get there.
Okay.
It just saves you a little bit of money, a little bit of time trying to get to where you want to go, especially, like I said, if you want to travel outside of the Tokyo Disneyland area.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So what other myths did you hear and experience when you got there?
Sure. So when you go to Japan, I mean, I can tell you, first and foremost, I do not speak Japanese. This is, I mean, I'm blessed to be married to someone who does, luckily. But if any of you were on there for my Paris review, Disneyland Paris review, just like any good Disney park, you're going to have cast members who speak all sorts of languages, including English. So trying to find an attraction you really want to get to, or trying to find a restaurant, there are cast members readily available to tell you exactly where to go. Also, for anybody who speaks English, there are signs in English telling you where to go, how to get to where you want to go.
Okay, this is important. So it's not all Japanese. There actually are ways to find out on your own.
Yes, absolutely. Either with maps or just asking a cast member directly. It's very easy to get around there.
Now, how did you guys get around? How did you find out? So it's your first time there, right?
Sure.
So how did you see the crazy monorail, which we don't have with the Mickey behind it? How did you find out? Were you lost? Was it tough? Was it like were you frustrated?
No, not at all. So we stayed outside in one of the local neighborhoods. I believe we were close to the Ebisu district the first time we were there, which is it's about 45 minutes by train to get there.
Okay.
In every train station, there are maps that you can actually either look at virtually or there's big ones up on the side that do have both a Japanese description as well as an English description. And then from there, they do highlight the main stations and then exactly where Tokyo Disneyland or Tokyo Disney Resort is. So it's very easy to get, you can get lost, but it's almost more difficult to do that because of the accessibility and being able to read all the signs when you're taking the train. Now, if you're taking an Uber, first of all, it's available.
They have Uber?
They do. But they also have very reliable taxi services as well.
Nice. Now, so what other myths did you debunk? What other myths did you hear about when you went there?
When I went there, so when we went over there, we assumed, because we weren't going to make an entire Disney resort out of it, because we assumed, just like every Disney park, that the tickets were going to be expensive.
Sure.
This is a fun one because I just looked, say around like mid-September. Say for example, you want to go just for one day, like a one park passport, park to park, or even just a 1 day park passport. Right now in mid-September, it's sitting for 8,400 yen, which actually, do the conversion, comes just under $60 US.
Nice.
So very, very reasonable prices. The food is also reasonably priced as well. So you're not really spending an arm and a leg like you would at either Disneyland, California, or over here at Walt Disney World.
I love it.
Yep.
So, John, what other myths did you debunk on your trip to Tokyo Disney Resort?
This is one of my personal favorites. I'm a foodie, but I know everybody isn't. And if you're going over there like, I'm not so sure about the Japanese food, it's interesting. Well, they have something for everybody at the Disneyland Resort, at Tokyo Disneyland, as well as Tokyo Disney Sea. Yes, they do have the traditional Japanese restaurants, but every themed land has their own variation. There is a New York area where they have You can find pizza. You can find hot dogs.
Nice.
One of my personal favorite, you can find a Mickey-shaped hamburger, which is really cool. Best of all, if you've ever been to Disneyland, they're famous for having a churro station just about everywhere. Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea, it's their popcorn game. And I purposely brought this down out of the archives to show you guys. I have to show you the popcorn game is real over there. Each one of these little doors opens, and you can find. You've got Boo on top. Oh, that one doesn't open. Not all of them open, but
I love it. I love it.
There we go. You got her there. You got Boo up top. You got Sully, one of my favorite characters, sitting over here with Mike.
So hold on. This is a Tokyo Disney Resort exclusive.
Tokyo Disney Resort exclusive. I mean, to be honest, I haven't looked anywhere else because I don't need to. But this one, it was exclusive. It's really cool. We saw a plethora of others. Plus, there was at least, from what I saw, 12 different flavors of popcorn, including, I think there was a shrimp scampi one. There was a curry one. There was a soy sauce one. My personal favorite, the white chocolate matcha flavored one. Oh, so good. So if you go there, you're going to come back and be like, come on, Disney. Come on, everybody in the U.S. Where's our popcorn game at? Because it's over there in Tokyo.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Yeah. So tell me more, because thank you for the myths. Let's talk about what everyone here is about.
Sure.
Because why is this a Tokyo Disney Resort review? Because there's two parks. And let's be honest, Disney is a big shareholder in these parks, but they're not the sole owner. The Oriental Land Company is a big stake. And a lot of people argue this is why they're so good. There's Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea, right?
Tokyo Disneyland and then Tokyo Disney Sea Resort. Absolutely. Yeah. So,
and I've heard from many sources, including bloggers online who live in Orlando, like you do, because you're the experts. Can you debunk or concur? Is Tokyo Disney Sea the best theme park in the world?
Obviously, I'm biased because 100% yes, I would say this. It is such a unique park. You're going to get everything from the origin story of Tower of Terror with Harrison Hightower to Journey to the Center of the Earth, a ride that's incomparable to anything that we would have over here. Let me tell you guys this. I mean, you're going to find some familiar faces. They have Soarin' over there. They have like something, I think it's called Aquatopia. It's a boat ride over there. It's different. The cool thing is though, as well, they have Indiana Jones, the experience that we all know and love over at Disneyland. But then they also have a wooden roller coaster called Raging Spirits directly right next to it. It's such a unique land. In my opinion, Dave, yes, it is the best Disney park out there. So yet to be determined with Shanghai and with Hong Kong. But in my opinion, so far, right now.
It's amazing because you live in Orlando around Walt Disney World with their 4 marquee theme parks. And you're not the first. I mean, I know bloggers based in Orlando, and they say Tokyo Disney Sea is by far, no question, the best Disney theme park. And
top of the list right now.
Yeah.
I can tell you.
And I think there's something the current leadership has. All right. With that said, we're all here to hear your tips. We have people waiting to hear, how do I navigate Tokyo Disney Resort?
How do you navigate it? So let's start.
So give me the best of the best tips.
Sure. Number one, arrive early. If you're going to stay on property, the parks are going to be open. They usually open around 9. Arrive early, stay late, do what you can to make sure you're there present the entire day, because there's a lot to see. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to eat, a lot to drink, and getting it all done in one day, it's tough. Honestly, if I were you, I would definitely try to spend at least 2 days there, get a full encompassing of each park. And then maybe, like, in my opinion, if you did half the park, or half day at one park, half day at the other, and then go back the following day and revisit all the best attractions, I would definitely recommend doing something like that. Very like they're not the biggest parks I've been in, but they are formidably sized. They are pretty big. Tokyo Disney Sea alone will probably take you the entire day to walk around just because of the sheer capacity and what they have over there. Pro tip that I would recommend, especially inside of Tokyo Disney Sea Resort, there is a cruise ship that is docked in the bay there. And if you have time, and if you are a libation fan, just like Dave and I are here, they have a speakeasy inside. It's called the Roosevelt Room, and
Nice.
probably one of the best old fashions that I've had on property there.
So are we having day drinker intel? This is awesome.
A little bit.
I love it. I love it. This is why you watch the show. Everyone else has tips like, oh, right, yeah. No, and you were smart to give the good ones, but to have the old fashioned.
Ooh.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
no, you have to stick with the original on that one. I mean, it's the Roosevelt Room. It's classy, very similar to New York area. Plus, it makes riding Tower of Terror over there with Harrison Hightower that much better. So,
I love it.
For those of you who don't know, Harrison Hightower is related to Master Grace. I believe it's his nephew. For all of you Society of Adventure or Explorers and Adventurers out there.
Now, so here comes the devil's advocate. So Tokyo Disney Sea is so popular. Everyone wants to be there. How can you even enter there if it's so popular? How do you navigate it?
Sure. Well, we can talk about tickets first if you want.
Yes.
So the Premier Access, it's very similar to what they have over in Disneyland in Paris. It's very similar to the Max Pass, where you're able to skip the lines like the Lightning Lane we have here in Orlando. That's how you see and do it all, especially if you want to do multiple attractions multiple times. The first time I went, they had their traditional Fast Pass system, but then they switched everything digital. So I would recommend downloading the Tokyo Disney and Tokyo. Well, it's the same app, actually. It's one app for Tokyo Disneyland Resort. And that'll truly help you navigate. You won't have to stop and find a map because you have it all the palm of your hand.
Nice.
So
awesome. And so
my question to you, Dave, when are we going to talk about that amazing thing you have in the background there?
The app helps. Okay. So behind me is their monorail, right? Absolutely. So they have their own monorail.
Absolutely.
So tell me about it.
Let's talk about it. So it does travel all the way around the resort as it, we expect it, making stops. There's 3 different stops, one at each park, and then there's one at the main entrance right in front of the Tokyo Disneyland Hotel. There are good neighbor hotels in the area. The last time I went, we stayed at the Sheraton Grand Resort. Right across the street from that, it's actually on the backside of Tokyo Disney Sea. So right across the street from that was our monorail station. So really, I mean, in total, it takes about maybe 30 minutes by monorail to go around, just based on the stops and how many people get on and how many people get off. The monorail is very similar to what we have. You do have to pay for it, so it's not included with your visit, unfortunately. But it's very, very cost efficient. I believe it's around 200 yen. I'd have to look up prices exactly.
So you have to pay for the monorail?
You do have to pay for the monorail. Absolutely. It is worth it when you get inside. It's basically like
you got all the Japanese. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Well, to them it's public transportation, which they're very high on. So
absolutely.
Well, so how do you compare their monorail to the Walt Disney World monorail?
Very, very similar. It's a little bit bigger on the inside. There's a little bit more space to move around. If you've all heard that wonderful rumor of, they're going to take like prodding rods and make sure everybody gets on the train, it doesn't get that busy, but it does get a little crowded in there. So that's why I refer back to saying, arrive early, stay late, because, the busy traffic times, especially when the kids get out of school around the area, they're all going to crowd the monorails and try to get to each park. So best thing you can do is just, get there early and stay late.
I love it. All right, John, one last tip for our crowd.
Sure.
What's one last tip if you visit Tokyo Disney Resort tomorrow? What do you recommend?
What would I recommend? It depends, really. I mean, so if we're talking about Tokyo Disney Sea, go to the big attractions first. You're looking at Journey to the Center of the Earth. You're looking at the Nautilus, with Captain Nemo. Indiana Jones, those fill up pretty quickly, as well as the premier passes that fill up pretty quickly. So make sure you get on those first. If you're going over to Disneyland, which, right now I'm focusing a lot on Disney Sea just because that's my favorite, but
Yes.
Tokyo Disneyland does have its benefits as well. Number one, they still have Splash Mountain over there. So if you're a Splash Mountain fan, head on in there, get on that ride and enjoy it, with all the nostalgia that's in there. The other biggest tip I would say, try all the food. There's so much in there. It's stuff we don't have here. Get some popcorn. I already featured it, but make sure you get some popcorn. And, I'll say it again before, but make sure you have comfortable shoes on because it's a hike.
I love it. I love it. So 2 theme parks, must visit both, right?
Absolutely. If you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice because it's wonderful.
I love it. John, appreciate having you on today. Your tips and your myth busting have been amazing. John Medrow, who has been to Tokyo Disney Resort, both theme parks, and John agrees Tokyo Disney Sea is the best theme park in the world, right, John?
No question, Dave.
No question. I love it. Everyone has said, I got to go there.
You have to go. There's so much to it. I mean, with the 5 resorts, if I can just end at one more thing, if anything else, if you want to see one of the awesome resorts, the Miracosta inside of Disneyland, right next to Tokyo Disney Sea, is there's a tail. Got a cat in the background. But the Miracosta is a really cool thing to go in and see. There's a nice big old wooden mahogany statue with Mickey. It's a pirate ship.
Nice.
It's something that we don't have here, so take advantage of that.
Nice. John, appreciate having on. Appreciate all you guys watching. And please travel to Tokyo Disney Resort and follow John's tips. We'll see you guys down the road. Happy Sunday afternoon.